Today we're here with Ms. Rudrani Chetri, founder of Mitra Trust and the woman responsible for starting the first transgender modeling agency in India. Hi Rudrani, thank you for having us here.
You're welcome, darling.
You're looking lovely as ever.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to start by asking you what are the terms that are politically correct today to use to refer to the transgender community?
I mean, there is no right and wrong about how you address and you address other people. But yes, people most of the time use the terms which are respected in the community and by the community in a very derogatory manner. For example, hijra, we people identify ourselves hijras, and we identify as Kinnars. But in the mainstream, what happened, people in the if you can see also in the movies and other things, people use this hijra word as something which is very bad. So it is it is not the word which are wrong. Beside, there are few words, but people do it, use it as a negative term, or some to bring a shame to someone, or to offend someone. So I think, I mean, we have to see how people use those terms. So
yeah. So what would you find offensive?
I mean, most of the time I've seen people calling, our community people chakka, and, even they say hijra. Hijra is a respected word, I mean, but they do it in a very derogatory manner. I mean, they do it, to embarrass you and, to humiliate you. So I think it's just how they're using this term. Other than all the words are fine with me.
Yeah. What do you personally identify with? We're so used to gender binaries, it's either a man or a woman, but for you, your identity, what would you identify with?
Oh, I do identify myself as, see, if you want, you're asking this question to me in English, I do identify myself as a transgender woman, but I'm also part of this culture and system and a group where people do identify them as hijras, because this is the only safest place to be, because, this community is socially accepted and respected. Besides, I mean, yes, there are stigma and discrimination happening towards this community, but yes, this culture is there. So I do identify myself as hijra.
Okay. So that the viewers get to know you and so that we get to know you, why don't you take us through a day in your life and tell us about some experiences as a transgender person that only you would understand, some of the difficulties that no one else could relate to, or me as a woman wouldn't be able to relate to?
See, there is nothing different. I mean, I'm as normal as anyone. I mean, people thinking that if you belong to a different group or, different culture, you do have a different life. I mean, the morning is same as for everyone. The, day is same like for everyone. I get up in the morning, I get ready to go to office. I don't do, the traditional occupation of what hijras are doing right now, do toli badhai, or some other work as begging or something. I do have a very different life as a social activist, as a social worker. I do have an office, and as a part-time model which I contribute. So sometime going for shoot, sometime going to office, and I'm also a consultant where I go and do a lot of trainings and do research work. So I have very kind of I mean, it will be silly saying, but I do have busy life sometimes, and also I do have a partner whom I live with. So going back home, cooking, and I have 2 dogs, 1 Labrador, 1 pug. So I mean, it's absolutely okay life. I mean, nothing special about it. I mean, if you see, I mean, people if imagine that, okay, as a transgender I may be facing too many troubles. This is not true for me, but yes, my community do face, because everybody is not that vocal, everybody is not that educated. People cannot go and stand against what they think is not correct. But me, as I do have an education, I do understand my rights. I mean, so I'm capable to do so. But for my community people, it's not an easy life.
But even as you're talking right now, all I can think of is how flawless your skin is. Really. Like living in Delhi with the kind of pollution there is, how do you manage that?
I don't know. I just try to keep myself happy and be happy and drink a lot of glasses of water. That's it. I mean, all women do try and take care of their skin. I mean, this is the only thing they're more worried about. But recently, as I got attacked, I mean, you can see a scar here.
Oh.
But see, things happen to you.
Would you mind sharing that
Oh,
with us?
it was evening of Dashera while I was coming back from a dinner party with my boyfriend, and I was wearing, because Dashera is one of big festivals in our, my family. I was wearing all gold, chains and rings and everything. And this three bikes which started following us, and all were loaded with, 3 to 4 guys sitting on them. And somebody all of a sudden came very close to me. I was wearing this, spaghetti. Somebody try and touch my shoulder and, pass a comment that, how much do you charge? They thought me as a sex worker. So I did not say anything, and I was a bit afraid that they're gonna run away with my gold chains or something, or they're gonna, kidnap me or whatever. This was the idea going on. So I asked my boyfriend to, hold for a second so that if they pass by, we can go. But it did not happen. They, tried to kind of kidnap me, for which I hugged my boyfriend so tight that we were not letting each other go, but they were again trying to separate us, which was, after they failed to do so, they started throwing stone on us, and one of the stone, hit me here, and my boyfriend all over, leg and somewhere. After I started bleeding, I started shouting that, that Mardala and Mardala. I think they got scared and they ran away. So, things people do to you people. Sometimes people are really bad to, our community. They have only this idea, if a transgender is outside somewhere in the, somewhere in the evening or, dark, in night, must be doing something wrong, or maybe doing something which is,
Suspicion.
Yes.
Yeah. I know I can't possibly relate to everything that you say exactly as you do, but I think I do understand what you're saying, this lack of safety that so many men and women face in our country because of prejudice. But what is beauty for you? What do you think is beautiful?
Beauty is not something, for me, and what I think is defined as like who is fair or who is zero size or who is, of this height. Beauty comes in different forms, and the idea of beauty can be anything which you think is beautiful is beautiful. You don't have to be someone you are not. I've seen people, going on diets, and people doing things, people harming themselves just to look the way, idolizing someone, but it's not for me. And for me, any color is beautiful. For me, any size is beautiful. For me, any height is beautiful. So for me, beauty is no, and of course the age is there. Why your beauty is only when you're 16 to 25 or something. You can look as beautiful as anyone else, even if you're 60. So defining beauty into some, again putting this beauty thing into some boxes and keeping others empty. It's not me. Whereas I promote this transgender modeling agency, I believe my transgenders are, they don't exactly look like a woman. I don't even want to, give this idea to the world that transgender people have to, female transgender will have to look like a female. She can look as heterotic she can be. Why cannot? She can be tall. She can be 6 feet tall. She can be 4 feet height. She can be anything. She can be with a little bit of weight. She can be skinny, and she can be bald. It is not necessary. There can be anything. She can be of a dark complexion.
Yeah.
See, the country where we live in, and also for a few other countries or most of the countries, people have defined beauty in their own ways. So I think this is also an opportunity for me that I will step further and make a movement where I want to define beauty into different aspects, not into one.
So why modeling? There's a lot that's been happening within the transgender community. You have a principal who's from the community, but why did you choose modeling specifically?
My answer to this is why not modeling? Why not modeling? We people from the community have, been trying our life, entire life, to look pretty, to look beautiful. I mean, we have invested our most of the time to, feel more feminine, than anyone else. Then why not beauty? Beauty is very important part of a hijra life and a transgender life, a transgender, females. So why not beauty? And there are people in the community who are so beautiful that, which I was thinking, why not, use modeling as one of the careers, one of the, platform they can, build their confidence. They can, take it as careers. And similarly, other countries have done so. I mean, they're doing so. I mean, at present, we're calling for, audition on 7th of February, where we're inviting transgender people from all over Delhi. If somebody wish to come from, other state, is also welcome, and do audition, and where we're going to pick, our top 5 models, and we are going to do their portfolios and give to the different, agencies. And I'm very sure, I'm very optimistic, I'm very positive about that the other companies, other brands will take our models to endorse their project.
Another thing that's very interesting about your initiative is that you're actually looking for crowdfunding.
Yes.
I mean, considering the stereotypes that people from this hijra community are ascribed to in India, the kind of discrimination, I was wondering if you think there will be people in the public willing to give for this?
Oh, what I checked last night, it was 500 plus pounds were already there.
Wow.
So it is around somewhere around 50,000 rupees, and we are also collaborating with one of the organization who is based in Delhi, who are Bit Giving, I believe. So they are also they are also going to help us with this campaign. So I think people want to help. People want to see our community to do something they can be proud about. So I'm seeing good results, and I'm hopeful we will reach the target of where we can hold this audition from all this help which is coming from outside.
When did you begin to identify yourself as a trans woman? When did that happen? What phase in your life?
It did not happen in one fine day that I identify myself as transgender woman, but it was a slow and gradual process where I was born as biological male. Then I there was so much of confusion because I was not like other boys. I was not someone who was running after football. I rather I was playing with Barbie dolls, hiding in my cupboard. So I was taking different thing, and it was strange. My time there was no Google, no research, no organization, no help was there, and it was you were fighting with yourself that you're the only one in this world born like this. And I was like, oh God, what is wrong with me? But while growing up, meeting other people, knowing things, I slowly identifying myself as a woman from inside. I was that from the very beginning only. It's not somebody influenced me or somebody convinced me to, or I purposely did something to myself. It was who I was, but I was not getting any kind of resources, help, and there was no platform to be it. So what I thought, like, I need to finish my education. Where I finished my education, because you have to be capable of doing anything. This society will not let you do anything unless you stand on your own. So after finishing my education, I started changing myself. I did not do it in first go, because I also was thinking of my parents and other. I did not want it to give a shock, because it can be shock for anyone. If I put myself into their shoe, in their position, even they will also get shocked seeing their son coming in sari one day. So it was a slow process where I was growing hair, I was applying kajal and wearing unisex clothes. Now, I mean, they get to see me all over television, magazine, and everywhere. So they are okay, they're chill. But still, they, as they are my parents, they still call me with the same name which they have given in my childhood.
But have you ever thought of sex reassignment?
I am on hormones. So I am on hormones. I've been taking hormones for almost a year, and my doctor is, because we don't have such good doctors in India. My doctor is from US, and we most of the time when she visits here, I do go see her personally. She's also my very good friend. Her name is Ronika. We do talk about our the test and everything over Skype, sometime email. But I think I'm not yet ready for the sex reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever go for it, but till now, I'm happy with who I am or who I am. You know, I'm all fine with myself.
Of course. Have you ever been denied access to certain places, public or private? Has that ever happened?
Oh, it happened. There is one mall called Western Mall in Janakpuri.
Okay.
And I was not allowed. It was my birthday. I mean, I was, trying to get inside this mall. I heard of this club. So we wanted to book this club for my birthday party. But they did not allow me. And they said like, आप जैसों के लिए जगह नहीं है. आप जैसों के लिए कुछ नहीं मिलता. We shouted and we tried to do something so we can get in at least, and only thing was going on. Oh, I need a nice place to hold my birthday party, but it did not happen. And later I came, and after some time I was thinking, oh God, what kind of food do I eat? What kind of makeup do I use? What kind of air I breathe? Is it something different for me? And what was inside that shopping mall that was not for me. आप जैसों के लिए कुछ नहीं मिलता. Who was I? Do I have a very different sized clothes which I wear? Or is it some different fabric or something which I eat is like it's not available there? I mean, it was stupid. But I did not stop going there. I kept on. I kept trying again and again whenever I used to pass by there almost every month. And one day they allowed me. Maybe they were not able to see me, or what happened, or what did not. I don't know. And while I was coming outside of that mall, and I looked at this security guard. She was a female and male. I smiled at them and said, "Koi bum phutta kya andar?" And they're looking at me, and they said, "It's not me. It's not us. हमारे manager ने बोला है." And that time I realized, and she was so nice to me, she was very polite to me, and the guy was also so nice to me. That time I realized, मैं उनको उस समय मैंने उनको ये बोला, लोग जितने पढ़ जाते हैं ना, पढ़े लिखे हो जाते हैं, वो उतने ही बेवकूफ़ बन जाते हैं. So it was not those people who were just doing this as their job as a security people. Hardly they must have done the 10th or 12th or whatever. This person who's a manager who is making rules and regulation policies and whatever in sitting there have marked us somebody who cannot be who cannot come inside the mall. What if it happens the same way for other things also? Somebody who's black cannot come inside my mall. Somebody who's short-heighted cannot come inside my mall. Somebody who is physically challenged cannot come in my mall. So what kind of world we are living in when you're discriminating on the basis of gender? So I have faced this, but I also since that day I stopped going to that mall. So my purpose was fulfilled, and I wanted to let people know this. And I told to many my friend journalists and other people who also wrote about this, and it was good that people should know. My community faces stigma, discrimination, violence, hate every day, every second in their life. But they are not they don't have such resources which they can use to pass on this information. At least if I have, then why can't I?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed that, click up here to support us and down here to subscribe. Be sure to check out our older episodes and the other stuff we do, like Can You Take It, I Agree, panel discussions, comics and animations, and much, much more.